you know of the white supremacy culture. Obviously, the work you're doing at the moment, especially with groups like Free Radicals Project, you're speaking out against it and working against it.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for the New Zealand media and specifically about this upcoming trial and what they should do, we should do, to maybe not embolden all those groups all around the world by seeing this person who's done this horrific act, an act of terror, and encourage them? If you were sitting in a meeting with the heads of all the media conglomerates down here, what would you say to them?
I think it's a really important thing to learn about. I think, we shouldn't shy away from understanding the motivations of white supremacy. But there's a way to do that without being hyperbolic about it, without, inflaming, using inflammatory rhetoric to really to denigrate anybody. I mean, I don't think anybody should be doing that. And yes, there are bad people out there, but we really need to talk about this so that we understand not just what the outcome was and what will happen, but we need to understand why so many young people are going, astray and falling victim to this. And that's what I would rather see our media focus on. They have the power to do good. They are powerful platforms that influence us every day. That's obvious. We've seen that, and I think we've become aware of it in the last, 2 or 3 years more than any other time. And I really believe that they need to use their power for truth and for good, and to share stories about positivity and change, and also on solutions rather than just always focusing on the problems.
Yeah, it's interesting as well. As you're talking, I'm bringing up a little clip that was released 4 days ago. One of our higher profile reporters, a guy called Paddy Gower with one of our networks down here, TV3. His article says, "I was ashamed and embarrassed. I have not done one story on white supremacy." So part of the New Zealand media is also going, we haven't even thought about this. This hasn't even been an issue. Haven't reported on it at all. So what you're saying, people need to be aware of this, but how we handle it is probably more important than what is said necessarily.
Well, we're all, I think rightfully so, we're very vocal and about the tragedies, and we've had enough and we want to see it stop, and we're angry. But I think we need to understand why they occur, what the motivations are, what sends people down that road. And we need to, as adults, as responsible people, focus on the most vulnerable in our communities, because that's really, there's no happy, whole terrorist. There is no self-confident, well-balanced, extremist. It does not happen. I've never met one, and I never will, because, happy people just don't behead somebody, or they don't walk into a mosque or a church and they, and shoot 50 people. It doesn't happen. And we need to understand from the youngest age possible what's sending people down that road, and fill those potholes.